We are ready to get started here with the first post-race press conference of the 2023 season of the SuperMotocross World Championship Finals. My name is Dan Hubbard. I'll be hosting the press conference. Thank you so much for being here. I know the men and women of the press for this sport work very hard. We appreciate you, and we're glad you're here today in this tent for this historic race and this historic moment. We have in third place for this first race, Dylan Ferrandis. In second, Ken Roxon. In first, Chase Sexton. I think I can speak for everybody. Exceptional racing up here. Let's start them off with a big round of applause. Chase, let's start with you, and then we'll get to the press. I know that was an incredible statement. We were talking about it on the mic for the live broadcast. We felt you made a statement not just in Moto 1, but Moto 2. When you did your fastest qualifier, the post-race interview, you were cool, calm, collected, looked like there was no pressure. You won Moto 1 handily. Moto 2, you had to do a little work, but won it, same thing. Afterwards, just cool, calm, and collected. Did you feel a tremendous amount of pressure going into this race, or none at all?
I mean, I definitely had a point to prove after the outdoor season I had. I was pretty disappointed with it, but I was really happy when like I said, when I got back on Supercross. I felt like I found where I was in Supercross this year, like right away. And it kind of honestly calmed my nerves a little bit, and was able to kind of focus on my riding, and was able to put good motos in with Ken and Tom Vial, and just have had a really good last 2 weeks. So my preparation was good, and I was confident coming into today that I was going to be good. And I know when I'm comfortable that I should be winning races, and that's what we did today. I had a big point to prove, and we're not done yet. We got 2 more races to go and keep this thing rolling.
Kind of nice to start off the day with a Supercross championship ring for Mike Mewey. That helped too, huh?
Yeah, not bad. Now I got a trophy to take home with it, so we're good.
All right, good. Let's open it up to the press here and get questions going. We're looking at who has a microphone. Anyone over here? Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie Guida, Vital MX. Dylan, I want to start with you. From where we were in the press box, we couldn't see the far end of the track with the split lane. So I don't know if you switched lanes very often, but if you did, was there one that you felt was faster, or did you determine which lane you took by who was in front of you?
No, for me it was more one line was more physical than the other, like with the bump, and I was just trying to go to the line where was I could just save a little bit of energy, and I think at the beginning was going under the tunnel was faster and maybe cleaner, and when the bumps start to be bigger, I just switched to over the bridge, and I could save a little bit of energy by jumping the bumps better. So that was just that main reason.
And Kenny, just with this first inaugural Super Motocross, quote-unquote hybrid type track, did you make any massive changes from yesterday or even this morning to the final race?
No, actually I have not. I tested a little bit back at the sandbox in the last few weeks, but I was actually just running my regular Supercross stuff that I was riding last year and in Birmingham as well. Kind of just went with that, kept it simple. I didn't want to overthink it. I haven't raced in quite some time, and I didn't want to run into a rabbit hole of changing stuff all the time and kind of getting lost and then having something new all the time. So I just stuck with what I have and ran it.
Mitch Kendra from Racer X. Chase, you had the first moto. Obviously, everything went well. You got the win. Then you switched sides, I believe, to go to the other side of the starting gate. Can you talk about that selection of choosing a gate and then why you switched it even after you won the first moto?
Yeah, I just kind of went by what route I thought was best. I looked at both sides. The left side, I think, had deeper ruts, and I didn't want to have what happened to Deegan happen to me, so I was like, I'm just going to kind of go with my gut and pick the best gate I thought, and I ended up not getting a great start, but I made it work. I was really nervous. The nerves mostly came from the start stage just because it was a hard track to pass on, and you had to be really methodical on where you pushed and where you could make a pass at. So when I came out in, I don't know, 6th, 7th, I was scratching my head a little bit, but we got some good passes in early and just kind of tried to put my head down, and it worked out.
Yeah, and then the pre-race press conference, you kind of mentioned you and Kenny riding together a little bit. Whenever you see him in front of you, you kind of not zone out a little bit, but it's kind of like a practice day for you guys, and you just kind of get like, oh, I'm used to this and I can practice good, and you just, does that, I guess, have a little bit of comfort, just knowing you're just training buddy, he's not going to pull anything on you. It's just like another day at the training practice track.
Yeah, we've been riding together quite a bit, and it's we have a really good relationship, and when we train together, we're always wanting the best for each other, and same at the races. Obviously, we come here to win, but we can put that aside and still have a friendship. So when he was leading, I knew when he got out front, I'm like, man, he's gonna get away pretty fast, and that's why I was trying to get as quick as I could to the front. I knew I had Jet behind me, so I couldn't back off. I had to go for the win, and obviously still wanted to make a statement. I wanted to go for the win no matter what, but I had guys coming from behind, and I just put my head down, and that long rhythm section was the biggest thing on the track. It was it was a big rhythm. It was quad, 3 quad, and then 3 out. So had to get that almost every lap. But yeah, it was, like I said, it was fun racing with Ken, and just happy for both of us to be up here.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports, for Chase and Dylan. Can you evaluate this style of track? Is it kind of what you expected? Is it more supercrossy or more motocrossy than you thought it would be? Chase first.
Well, I kind of had an idea what I thought the track was going to be like when we were practicing, and then I was reading like Twitter and Instagram, and everyone was saying how deep it was, and I was like, well, hopefully we did the right preparation. And coming here, it honestly felt like Atlanta. It didn't feel, I mean, obviously there's more outdoors to it, but it feels like an Atlanta track with the dirt being like that and those long rhythm sections. So it honestly didn't throw me off too much. I tend to like these speedways tracks with the rough bumps and then also a little bit of supercross mixed in. So I was comfortable from the get-go yesterday.
Like Chase said, was pretty similar to me. Felt more like a supercross with just easier section, obviously. But yeah, it felt just the way they prep and with the tough block being very narrow compared to a real motocross track, felt more like a supercross, just kind of easy supercross.
And for Ken, you haven't raced with these guys for 4 months or so. You're right back in the rhythm. What's it like to have raced them again? And do you feel like you missed anything while you were gone?
So every time lately that I've gone behind the gate, I've had some pretty good races, and I think that kind of like goes into the bank, you know, and obviously I watch all the races. I think it's important to stay engaged with the sport and not drift off of it too far. And so I watch every weekend. I study just internally. It's fun for me. You know, I've really had a lot of joy figuring this thing out again, and that includes watching and seeing what those guys are doing. Same with MXGP. I pretty much watch everything, and so I stayed engaged, and I kept doing my training and obviously riding. So I don't know. I just felt right at home, honestly. I didn't really make it a big deal that I haven't raced in quite some time, and I felt aggressive yesterday, and yeah, it was right back to business and felt right at home.
Ben Bridges, congratulations to all three of you. You're in the record books. Chase, back in September of 29th, 1984, we had a Supercross. David Bailey won on a Honda. Now your name's going in the record books. Tell us about this, what this win means tonight, and how you're going to prepare for the next 2 rounds to bring home the big trophy.
It's always cool to win an inaugural race, obviously starting with this playoff series. And I feel like everyone kind of came in ready to go, and obviously there's a lot up for grabs. So today was important. And like I said, I just came in prepared, and I just wanted to feel comfortable again. I wasn't, like I said, didn't have a good outdoor series, and it was tough, but I still was confident what I could do. So coming into this race, I knew I was good, and yeah, today it was good having those 2 races, and then going into next week is a home race for me. It's about an hour from where I grew up, so going in with the red plate is going to be fun, and hopefully we can do this again.
Hi, Edwin from FIA Latin America. Congratulations, guys. You know, outstanding race. First time ever we have a SuperMotocross here in Charlotte. I have a technical question for you guys, all three. We have today a hybrid track. So how you guys put, you know, we talk about, let me start again. How you guys figure out, put the suspension hybrid for be ready for that motocross and supercross today, and how it's important to mechanic be important part of this project?
Honestly, like, it's really nothing that new, at least not for this round, right? Like, we look at the track maps and we saw that there was rhythm sections. We had a bunch of 180-degree sweeper with some doubles. To me, it felt very identical to an Atlanta Speedway supercross track. We just had one rhythm lane instead of a couple, you know what I mean? But we still had some bigger doubles and a triple. So I don't think any of us are really overthinking it, you know? Next weekend might be a little different. It looks a little bit more motocross style, but for me, I looked at the track map and coming here, and to me, it felt just like a speedway track, and it's really nothing new to us.
Yeah, same for me. Like I said, I had really similar feelings to Atlanta. I'm basically on a Supercross setup that I raced would have been in Salt Lake City, just a little bit softer. So, yeah, like I said, I actually felt on the outdoor parts today better than I felt in the outdoor series on my outdoor bike. So it was pretty funny, but yeah, it's just kind of a normal kind of Atlanta race with a little more outdoor mix. And
I think when there is a Supercross rhythm, no matter what track it is, you have to be ready for Supercross anyway. So you just put suspension Supercross, and you figure out the motocross section the best you can, just surviving. But yeah, when there's Supercross rhythm, you have to make your bikes ready for that, no matter what.
Thank you.
Let's go to Nick Still, Moto Online.
Yeah, thank you. Nick Still, MotoOnline.com. Let's go to Chase Sexton real quickly. Chase, on the broadcast, you spoke about having some hate in the last few months. Can you just elaborate a little bit with that?
Yeah, just not to name any names. I have a hard time watching the broadcast sometimes. I feel like what I did in Supercross was discounted a bit, and I feel like my riding today proves that it shouldn't be. So, like I said, I was confident in myself and still believe in myself, but it gets annoying after listening to the same thing over and over every weekend. So that's kind of all I have on that part.
Absolutely. And Dylan, real quickly with you, a result like today, that's got to be motivating for you. You know, contract year, looking for a ride, looking for a contract for next year. Does this give you some motivation moving forward?
I'm not really motivated to get a contract. I'm motivated to win the race I'm showing up to. So it's mainly my motivation. But yeah, for sure it's gonna help maybe some people to take decision. But I don't know. It's not really important for me right now. I just want to finish this season the best I can and just prove to myself and the people that believe in me that I can still race. I can still ride Supercross pretty good. And yeah, that also when I have the good setup. I mean, obviously, it was a big struggle this season with the bike, and yeah, when we took some massive decision and big change, and obviously pay off. And yeah, when I have the bike I want and I feel good on it, I can provide a good result.
Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you.
Jonathan McCready.
First question for Chase. Chase, how difficult was it for you to see Jet take over the limelight in outdoors, and then what makes you so much more comfortable on Supercross suspension to come and go 1-1 against Jet Ken and all these guys today?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't so much that he took over. I mean, obviously he did, but it wasn't really that part. It was just more getting beat by him every weekend was really, really tough. And I knew deep down that I wasn't super comfortable, and I had more in the tank to give. I was kind of just held back, I feel like, a little bit with what the bike setup I chose for outdoors. If I had to go back, I would have probably done something different, but can't change the past, only the future. So coming into this, like I said, I felt comfortable right away. I mean, last year in Supercross, I really reeled off some good races the last, 5 or 4 races of Supercross. So I was confident that I had a good bike setup, and like I said, when I first got on it, like this week leading up to the race, I really clicked into something that I haven't since the beginning of this year, and it's hard to explain. When you feel good on a bike, you can do stuff that you can't do when you're not. So it's just a feeling thing.
Thank you. And just one for Ken. Ken, you're riding a lot of different races. It looks like you're having a lot of fun, and you're riding Destinations as well. Is this one of the most enjoyable years you've had in your career?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a complete different person than I was last year. I feel extremely engaged, and quite frankly, maybe the most fun I've really ever had. I'm just not taking it for granted, and I have a really fun group that I'm working with, and they've given me a good bike, and they have given me every ounce of their time, of their energy, to get the bike to where I want it, and so have I. So with that combination, you can see, I may not be winning races as consistently as I have in the past, but it's really hard nowadays getting on the box and never mind winning races. But, we led some laps again today, and I'm just really proud of the team, and I'm happy about myself and where I'm at this point. So we're going to charge forward, and hopefully I can build on this and consistently be up on the podium again. And I just have more fun nowadays. I hope that answered it.
Great job. Thank you.
All right, we had Brad from Verb Moto. You had your hand up, but I want to make sure, see if you are interested in asking anything of our podium.
Yeah, I had a question for the boys, but the other guys pretty much asked them already, so I won't take up anybody's time. Appreciate it, though. Good job, boys.
All right, sounds good. Anyone else? Yeah, Jamie, back to you.
Yeah, Chase, you've talked about it so far in this press conference, the way the outdoors win and things that have been said on TV, et cetera, et cetera. Does this win take a little bit of personal pressure off you or feel like a little bit of a relief, or does it, or you already knew you could do this, obviously, but does it, I know there was still a little bit of stress or whatever the way things went.
To be honest, it's nice to win again. I feel like I haven't won in a year, so I don't know. I just honestly it motivates me more, and to keep that ball rolling. There's a lot of good guys on the gate. As Ken said, it's hard to win races, so you got to kind of take these as you get them, and I know I'm capable of winning more. So just got to put ourselves in a good position and go back and do good training and have some fun with Ken and Tom, and just get ready for next weekend.
I got one more for Dylan. Also, with you had the concussion in Houston, and you were struggling with the bike throughout the year. Now it seems like everything's really working well, but the season's almost over. Is it a little bit of a disappointment, a little bit of frustration of what might have been?
I mean, it's racing, not everybody can win, and I tried my best, and I had crashed, so for sure. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest season, but it's also good to be back on the box and finish the season on a high note. Honestly, I didn't expect to be that great today because I just rode that this week. Last week, after my crash in the last moto, I was pretty sore and I couldn't really train, so I took almost a week off. And just 3 trainings on the Supercross bike this week, and was enough to be on the box. So I'm very happy and very surprised also a little bit. But when I feel good, I can do good stuff.
Mitch again from RacerX. Ken, you mentioned yesterday kind of the mental reset and the physical reset. Obviously, the Supercross, motocross grind for you has been, 29 weeks of the year racing. Talk a bit about how the two go in hand, the mental reset and the physical reset between where you're at in life with the family and baby on the way, and also being in the later stages of your career.
Yeah, honestly, it was a little bit more of a tryout, I would say, because in the years past, I was not in a good place, and then it just, after motocross, I was so smoked, and you take time off, and you feel like you completely restart, and then you have no time to get ready to go into Anaheim. But this year, I just felt more consistent overall, and I think that helped, and I think that even with, I'm hungry to do more races, actually, and of course, I always want to be careful because I don't want to get too eager and then dig yourself into a hole, but as of right now, I've been training pretty well as well. Of course, I wasn't racing on the weekend, but I think just with how I've been feeling, I can just string together an overall way more consistent season. I don't know. We'll see what the future brings. As of right now, everything's going pretty well, and I got a bunch of races coming up that'll help me as well in preparation for Anaheim 1, and then go from there. So for right now, I want to go to each and every race, where in the past I did not want to because I was just pounded into the ground and not happy with anything. And so I think just overall, I want to go racing, and I think that's what's most important to do good.
Excellent. Hey, thank you, gentlemen, very much for being here. Congratulations on this historic moment. Once again, we have Dylan Ferrandis, Ken Roxon, and Chase Sexton. Excellent job. We'll get set here in just a minute with 250, so stick around, get your questions ready. Let's do it again. Right? They're ready to bring them up, yeah? Yeah, come on up, guys. Excellent. Yeah, sounds good. It is a little warm. No air conditioning in this situation. This time we'll go with the 250 podium. Again, the overall podium for the Super Motocross World Championship Finals, the 250 class. In first place, Joe Shimoda. Second place, Tom Vial. Third place, Hayden Deegan. Welcome. Excellent job. Let's give him a big round of applause. I'll start with you, Joe. I'll make it quick. Excellent run. Some tough season in Supercross until the last round of motocross. Kind of a hard season there. Some injuries you were facing. Didn't get a lot of rounds in. So nice redemption here to go 1-1 at the final pro motocross round and then take the first overall here. You said on the podium you didn't even know you had the overall. So how exciting was that to figure it out? And when did they tell you? Right when you got off?
Yeah, it's hard to do 4-1 for a good overall. So I was thinking maybe second or third, but yeah, I just heard I got overall, so I was super stoked. We only have 3 rounds, so it's really nice to start first race really good. I think that's what I was looking for. So yeah, thanks to the people behind me.
All right, congratulations. We're gonna go with Brad from Verb Moto. Brad.
Thanks, guys. This one's for Hayden. Hayden, your riding style, super aggressive, lots of movement on the bike. Where did you develop that riding style, and do you ever foresee a point in your career when you won't be so active?
Yeah, definitely. My riding style is definitely aggressive and the send it motive. And although, technique is definitely the future, so you got to add that. And if you can be aggressive and have that intensity, then you're going to put it all together really good. So as long as we can do that, it'll be bright. But yeah, the intensity is always there.
Where did you struggle on the track today? I know you did a lot of things well, but what did you want to clean up?
Probably my little front flip. That's probably the only thing I wanted to clean up because I was sore all day from that, so that wasn't smart.
All right.
Let's go to Jamie.
Jamie Guido, Vital MX. Hey, I'll stick with you for just a minute. You say a lot. You're just going to send it. You sent it at Ironman. We saw the highlights. Yesterday, you sent it in the rhythm section. Had a close one. Anybody on the team say, hey, maybe not send it so much? Let's back it down?
Yeah. Sometimes they're a little scared to send it sometimes. I'm like, the one at Ironman, I'm like, why don't you guys just do it? Like, come on. And then, yeah, they don't want to do it for some reason. So, yeah, I mean, they don't really dabble into me too much because if you go out there and win, they're kind of like, maybe I should send it then. I don't know.
And Tom, with this hybrid format or style of track, did you feel more comfortable than on a typical Supercross, or did it still feel like Supercross for the most part? Just kind of describe how this track felt to you.
Yeah, the track wasn't like a real Supercross. I think it was a good mix between Supercross and Motocross. After the start was way more Motocross, and then we got that Supercross rhythm kind of. So it was a good mix. I think the start was so important today. Like, it was tough to pass. I had a great start second motos that saved me a lot, but the track was kind of nice riding alone, but of course, if you had a bad start, was tough to pass, I think.
Mitch Kendra from Racer X. Joe, talk about the gate selection. I believe you went into the right-hand first turn both times. So just talk about your approach, why you picked that gate, and just the start.
I just felt a little more comfortable on the left side of the gate. Nothing really, just simply that.
And then same thing for Hayden and Tom, if you guys want to talk about your gate selection.
Yeah, I was trying to stay on that inside because the first moto I got pinched off by Justin, and I hugged in there with him and went under all of them and came out good. So I was hoping I could do that the second one, but two guys cut over and there's a line in front of me, so that didn't work. And yeah, we had to work through the pack a little.
Yeah, I was both time on the right side. Actually, first moto I was completely on the right. I didn't have a great start, but second moto I was like maybe 3 gates from the outside, and I had the off shot because I felt like turning to the left I had the rear brake, so for me was kind of important. I could slide a little bit the bike, and second moto it works good.
Dan, main event moto. This question's for all three of you guys. The split lane, taking the outside of the inside over the underbridge, obviously was an advantage at some points. The track was kind of, it seemed like it was hard to pass. So how much was that to an advantage of being behind one of you guys and being able to take that split lane to just try to get some clean air to make a pass?
Yeah, I think the split lane was pretty equal to me. But second moto, well, even first moto, they started adding this like little bumps on the lip on the right side, and yeah, I was just taking under the tunnel in both motos. I felt it a little bit more comfortable there. So I felt it equal. So I just took the line where I feel a little more comfortable to charge on, and yeah.
Yeah, I was sticking to the underneath. I feel like when they added those bumps, Supercross suspension does not mess with that, so I was going under that tunnel and keeping it there.
Edwin, FIA Latin America and Husky Park TV. Congratulations. I'm so happy because we have international riders on the podium. Hopefully, Latin America one day is going to be on the box. So, for you, Tommy, you show us that you two champions in Europe. Now you're competing with the best rider in USA. What change did you do in these couple of weeks that we see that you have better start? It's been so easy today. Also, I don't know if that benefit for you because the track was more motocross than supercross. That you're very good in that. So did you work more?
Yeah, I mean today the track was like I said, a good mix between supercross and motocross, and that of course helped me a little bit. But I felt great. I start after Ironman to ride a little bit again in Supercross, and I feel way better than beginning of the year. So I think like to ride, of course, like for a few months this winter, and those motocross helped me to turn and stuff, getting a little bit the flow and back to my rhythm from last year, and I could carry on to those races, and I feel pretty good right now on the bike, and I feel great during the whole day.
Great. Just last question for Joe Shimoda. We talked earlier. I told you you're going to be today the first guy winning today. But one of the things is like the second moto, you were behind the Tombia. What change did you do? Because we know that the track, it was too tight, hard to pass. But you did something, one on the turn. But what thing did you do that you knew you can win this second race?
Actually, me and Tom were talking about this after the race. I didn't want to. Well, the track is so fast, you kind of want to make an aggressive move, but at the same time, everybody has an equal pace, so you don't want to take a chance to take both riders out, where you make those mistakes and lose 7th place. So I try to be patient. Race is long, so find where I'm better at. Maybe if I can get closer and make a move. So yeah, I try to consciously thought about that while racing.
Dan Beaver, Dan Beaver, NBC Sports. For Joe and Hayden, Tom, you kind of already answered this. Can you evaluate the style of the track? Is it kind of what you thought it might be? Is it more supercrossy, more motocrossy? And what are you looking forward to for the next 2 weeks?
Definitely the second track looks more outdoor and longer. But yeah, I did expect to be fast, and there's gonna be a lot of checkup jumps. And but yeah, I think we all had fun. I think.
Yeah, this track was difficult, definitely. All the turns kind of led to the inside, so it was hard to pass. And I feel like with the passing here was to rely on somebody's mistake, where I feel like the next round is there's a lot of rollers, straightaways, sweepers, so I feel like it's going to mix it up a lot more, be a lot better for passing. So, yeah, I'm excited for the next round, definitely.
And for Joe, now 3 moto wins in the last 4 races. Can you start to think of yourself as the rider to beat, or just going to take it 1 week at a time?
I'm gonna take it one race at a time, or even in one session. I think, yeah, obviously needs to get those points, but the first thing is to bring your full potential to the race. So I think that's the focus.
Ben Bridges, Joe Shimoda, you single-handedly stepped up at the last round of the Outdoor Nationals and prevented Kawasaki from going winless. You've got a lot of momentum now. Tell us your plans for this week going into Chicago.
No, yeah, definitely feels good. If I can bring this flow nicely into the next race, it'll be awesome. But yeah, I'm just super stoked about today because, you know, usually you want to start your season in a good note, but I've been struggling to do that. So, yeah, next race is the next race.
Nick Still, Moto Online.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Let's go with Hayden real quickly. Hayden, how's the next couple of weeks look for you now? Are you going to stick with these hybrid tracks? What do you try and ride throughout the week to sort of set yourself up now that you sort of know how these tracks are going to be like?
Yeah, we're racers. We know how to ride a dirt bike track, so it's not like we got to do anything super out of the ordinary. But yeah, I mean, Supercross track, maybe add a few straightaways from the outdoor track into it. But yeah, we're good at adapting. So it's gonna be exciting though. Me and Joe, we both proved that we can win, so it's gonna be a good race, and I'm excited to take it down to the wire.
Nick? And lastly, just with Joe Shimoda. Joe, throughout the end of motocross,
I don't know. I think we lost him.
Yeah.
Nick, you there? We can get back to him. Wi-Fi lost. Jonathan McCready? We can get back to you, Nick, if you can hear me.
Yeah, the connection down there. Tom and Chase said you were riding with him and Ken Roxon recently in the lead up to this. Has your training changed at all, and have you been able to learn a lot from them?
Yeah. It was for me the question, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been training a little bit. I mean, the track I've been moving a little bit the last few weeks, and for sure I've changed a few things. And I mean, the track were new this weekend for everyone, so I don't really think that's it. But it was nice to change and have some fun.
Thank you.
All right, Nick, Still, you back on with us?
yeah, hopefully can you hear me all good?
We got you perfect, bud.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Joe Shimoda, just going with you real quickly, you know, towards the second half of the motocross championship, Mitch Payton sort of mentioned big progression with the motorcycle. Has that been something you've noticed and, you know, been able to, you know, take with you in the last few weeks?
Yeah, so we changed something right before outdoor season, and yeah, we struggled the halfway through. We just needed to go through a lot of things, but yeah, halfway through got better and better. I felt really good like last 2 rounds maybe of the outdoors, and then now I feel like I think Pro Circuit getting good starts, and then guys are running up on the Taurus more front. So no, it's a good improvement we made.
Congratulations on the result, mate. Thank you.
Excellent. Anybody else? Yeah, Mitch.
Mitch again from Racer X. Joe, obviously you had a good line in that long sweeper before the Supercross turn in the second race. I think that's where you were kind of getting really close to Tom. A couple of times you almost had the pass made. Were there other sections of the track that you were thinking about eyeing the pass, or did you know like that's where you were gaining on him, that's where you're going to make the pass, or he kind of would separate from you a little bit in the back section of the track? So just talk about, did you know that was where you're going to pass him at, and I guess line selections there?
Yes, I knew I had a good line there, but like I said, I try to avoid conflict with other riders, because everybody's so close. So yeah, I just don't want to get past trying to make moves, or so that was I guess the right place to do it. So yeah, it was good.
And then Tom, kind of a similar question. Did you know that's where he was gaining on you, and could you kind of feel that he was getting close to you? I guess, did that change your approach at all? I guess, and just talk a bit about, did you know he was gaining in that turn? And I think later in the race you adapted to that line a little bit. You were going more to the inside of the tough block. And just talk about once he got you, learning that line for yourself as well.
Yeah, I feel the track was tough to pass, so I knew the motocross parts. I felt the second moto going under the tunnel was faster, so I didn't think he could pass me there, but I didn't saw that line. I think a lap before, 2 laps before, he almost passed me. I blocked Joe there, but I had to move. But I was scared that if I went to the outside, he would have passed me from the inside. So I was a little bit mixed, and yeah, he passed me from the outside. The track, we were all on the same rhythm, the whole moto, and when he passed first, he didn't put away. I was pretty close, so it was tight racing, and yeah, I was of course a little bit mad after the race, because maybe if I would have seen that line, it would have been better, but that's racing, and yeah, can't wait for the next race.
All right, let's give a round of applause to Deegan, Liao, and Shimoda. Excellent job, gentlemen. Thanks again to everyone in the press. We'll see you all next week in near Chicago.